Thank you very much for that. Joining me now is David Webb, Fox News contributor, and Griff Jenkins, Fox and Friends weekend co-host. David, I got to start. We used Debbie Dingell last night, a soundbite from her, but we've got to do it again because she was again going on about Hasan. She was going on about Hasan Piker, she's fed up with something about him. Let me just roll the tape and get your reaction. Roll it.
I am done. So don't any reporter ask me again about Hasan Piker. It's not what November is about. Republicans are trying to make it. They're trying to divide us. And we got to stop letting them try to divide us.
So Republicans are behind. I mean, is she saying that Hasan Piker is a Republican plant?
Look, Debbie Dingell.
It's not Republicans that are putting Hasan Piker up to it.
Yeah, Republicans are not behind Hasan Piker. But here's what Debbie Dingell's used to. Her husband's father, if she stays in long enough, the Dingells will have represented that district for 100 years.
Wow.
That is a form of control. Hasan Piker is in there with them, and now Democrats are claiming big tent, and we're going to run separate from each other. She cannot run away from the fact. And by the way, Debbie, you don't get to tell the American people or the journalists what they can ask you about. That's Debbie Dingell telling you, I'm in charge, I'm entitled, and you don't get to ask me about my associations, which they would never let a Republican get away with, nor should they.
Well, the fact is, Griff, she needs, just like the governor of New York, Hochul, needs Mamdani's voters, she needs El Sayed's voters. That's why she doesn't want to hear anything about Hasan Piker, because it could ruin El Sayed's possibilities becoming the next senator, and she doesn't want that because she needs his votes.
This outburst against Hasan Piker is well overdue for her. But look, not only is it El Sayed in Michigan, look at just Detroit. You've got not only Rashida Tlaib, who will get reelected, but you've also got Donovan McKinney. Donovan McKinney is the DSA-backed candidate from the other part of Detroit. That is visual proof of her panicking because she knows the energy in the Democratic Party is on this socialist far-left push. And who's the face of that? Hasan Piker is. And when you look at the number of Democrat socialist candidates, it's not just in Michigan. Obviously, here in New York, you've got the two Mamdani candidates, Chevalier and Claire Valdez, but then you've got that one Malat Kiros in Colorado. You've got Chris Robb in Pennsylvania. There's a lot. She realizes that if indeed the Democrats take the House back, and it comes with a bunch of new Democratic socialists, it's going to embolden the squad. Hakeem Jeffries is the person that should be panicking even more than Debbie Dingell.
Now, I don't want to downplay in any way the threat. This is a communist threat. This is a threat to tear up the Constitution, to get rid of the military. They want to defund the Pentagon, for God's sakes. I don't want to discount that threat. However, I get the feeling, David, that socialism is not still on the ascendancy. The people, the more they look into it, particularly the folks in the middle, the independents that represent 40% of the electorate, the more they see what these people are about, the less they like them.
If we only think in terms of the cycle, which is a problem in America with our politics, yes, it looks that way, David. But when you look at what they are about, they're about goals. They're about gaining ground. The money is shifting. The funding is shifting. By the way, in Michigan also, you've got Haley Stevens even coming on board. In Maine, Troy Jackson. I wish it was still Graham Plattner. You look at the fact that it's the control of the money in the party. Bernie Sanders, you and I have talked about this over frankly, decades now we've covered this. He got his nose under the tent. Now he's in the center, and the next generation's coming into the play. And your point about Hakeem Jeffries is so important, because if they were to take control and he wants to be Speaker of the House, if they gain 10 or 12 and he needs 218, he has to make a deal and give them. So they're on the ascendancy in the sense that they gain and hold ground, and they keep going. And it is communism and socialism. You can call it whatever you want. More dangerous, though, I got to tell the Republicans this. The shiny nickel is the DSA. The real hard-working core is the Working Families Party. They're working in 24 states. They've got 463 candidates in New York alone.
I want to talk about something that is totally off the political scale here, which is something that happened yesterday, which was the anniversary, if you can use that word, the memoriam of that horrific withdrawal from Afghanistan that took place in 2021. There were 3 Marines that were awarded, that were upgraded for the medals.
Yep.
Their medals had been downgraded by the previous administration because they wanted to forget all about the withdrawal. I think we have a little clip from that. Roll it.
Medal with the device for valor to Gunnery Sergeant Jonathan M. Eby, United States Marine Corps, for heroic achievement in connection with combat operations against the enemy.
There were 2 others besides this brave Marine who had their medals upgraded, Griff. I mean, it's just, it's so outrageous that they weren't given the attention they deserve. Part of it was the bureaucracy, the slowness of a bureaucracy, but part of it was the Biden administration not wanting to look back on Afghanistan.
Listen, for a guy that's covered a lot of Marines in faraway, dangerous places, kudos to Secretary of War Pete Hegseth for doing this, long overdue. And when we lose heroes in tragic places like Afghanistan, Abbey Gate, and the heroism they displayed, you can remember their names. Retired Gunnery Sergeant Jonathan Eby, retired Lance Corporal Jordan Houston, retired Corporal Michael Gretzen. Remember their names. They have a place in history as heroes.
And you've helped a lot of these people.
Yeah, my charity, Wounded Warriors Family Support, worked with some of them, with Riley McCollum's family, with others. And the fact is, 11 Marines, 1 Navy corpsman, and an Army service member were murdered that day by terrorists, and they deserve to be remembered, not as a number. It didn't need to happen. 13 is not a number. These are names, as you've pointed out.
Some of the worst military decisions ever made by any administration in my lifetime were made with regard to that withdrawal. Gentlemen, great to see you. Thank you very much for being here. And don't miss Griff, along with his co-host Charlie Hurt, Rachel Campus Duffy, and on Fox and Friends weekend every Saturday and Sunday from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. I don't know how you do it.
4 hours a day.
I don't know how you do it. I did 3 last week and I could barely stand up the next day.